Welcome to the Toyota Solutions Studio at Women in the World here in New York City. I'm so pleased to be joined now by Maxeme Tuchman. She is a woman committed to educational equity. I think that's the way I should describe
should be
you.
on my business card.
And maybe you can also put on your business card now that you are a Toyota Mother of Invention. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On being honored.
Very proud.
In that way. You started at Teach for America, which is really interesting. You've always had a commitment to education. Is that when you sort of identified the need that you're now addressing with your company, Caribou?
That's a big part of it, but I would say that growing up in an immigrant family, being the first one to go to college in my family, my personal experience kind of struggling through school and not really always necessarily kind of understanding the system, my parents not really being able to help me after about 6th grade with my homework.
Your parents are Cuban.
Yeah, they're both Cuban immigrants.
And they couldn't help you because they didn't speak English or because the educational level was just different?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just I think there was a different expectation for them, and having come to this country, there was a lot of work that had to be done and taking care of the family, and so it kind of stemmed probably more from like my personal experience, which is then why I went into Teach for America. And I knew that I didn't want any child to have the same experience that I did. I wanted to make sure that every teacher and every mentor in a child's life was there just to make them successful. So that's really where it started.
And you have now really branched into educational technology.
Yeah.
And this is what you've been recognized for with Mother of Invention. You've created an app that addresses, frankly, a problem that I think a lot of working parents have, military parents have, which is how do you stay connected with your kids and how do you read to them when you're traveling?
Exactly. So a child between 0 and 7 needs to have at least 20 minutes of reading every day so that they're getting the right number of sophisticated words and they're building their vocabulary so that they are ready to go to school and to really be literacy proficient. And we're failing our kids right now. We're not reading enough to them. And a big reason is, I mean, families are separated by distance. Parents travel a lot for work. People are legally separated. Grandparents live in a different country. The family structure that used to be there to make sure that the bedtime story habit was there every night can't necessarily always be there. And we have technology today that can help. And so that's really where the idea of our app came from. Is we originally saw a picture of a soldier trying to read to his daughter through a webcam. Like this big hardcover book, and it was just.
So he had brought the hardcover book,
yes,
and he was turning.
And he's like in a coffee shop, and he's like literally like this, right. And you're like, he can't see anything, and his daughter can't see anything.
Not a very good user experience.
It was awful
for either of them.
Yeah, and we were like, this is ridiculous. Like in this day and age, how is this the best technology that we have? And so we said we probably can build something better. And,
okay, so show me what you built.
Yeah, so
you can do it on your phone as well as your iPad, right?
Correct,
if an iPad would make a lot more sense, so you'd have bigger picture books, you'd have the bigger pages. And,
okay. So on the iPhone, you'll get one video right about here, which you'll see the other person, and on an iPad, you'll see both people, so you'll see yourself as well. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like to read a book, and the pages move just like real pages.
And again, you'll be able to see your
everything.
Child's reaction, and so you would, if this was sort of online, you would see both people.
Exactly. So the other big thing that is a big differentiator is a lot of people are like, oh, I Skype and I FaceTime with my kids, and I'm like, that's great. But can you draw with your kids? Probably not.
Cool. Oh, so that's a part of the app as well.
Yeah, so you can draw in real time with your child. Again, you're kind of seeing their face. We just had Howie Mandel reading his daughter's children's book to his grandkids. And what was really cool about it is he pretty much, because they're in a video call and they're also reading a book, so he's reading his daughter's book, and it's about his granddaughter, Abby. And he's like, Abby, what's your favorite color? And she's like, purple. And he's like, look at my toes, they're purple. And he takes the video and he shows his toes. And then she's like, look at my toes, they're purple. And so what we're trying to show is that it's not just the reading of the book, it's not just the video call seeing your parent or grandparent, but you're literally building a unique memory together.
And that's exactly it. You're sort of furthering the relationship. I do have a question, which is, I have seen the research that 0 to 7, 20 minutes a day, need to do it. Is there any drawback to having it be a screen? I mean, obviously it's not quite the same as cuddling in bed, but it's something. I mean, is there any research that says that it's just as supportive to do it this way?
Oh, absolutely. And the American Association of Pediatrics has come out and said that there is a concern about screen time when kids are so young.
Right.
But if it's educational, it's okay. This is extremely educational. You're reading together. I think the screen time thing really came from like, please don't put your kid in front of a SpongeBob like video for like 3 hours.
All right.
The other thing is, again, it's a video call, so it's actually engaging for the brain. It's not, you're not kind of like going into a trance where like you're just looking at something. It's very dynamic, which again helps with development.
I want to talk a little bit about the business model. A lot of the mothers of invention that I've interviewed in the past have set up nonprofit organizations. How did you structure Caribou as far as funding and fundraising, all of that?
So we are a for-profit, but I say that we are a mission-driven company that makes money. And mission-driven comes first. That's really important to us. And because we're mission-driven, we actually donate free subscriptions of Caribou to all currently serving military through our partnership with Blue Star Families. Yeah, we're like so grateful to have that partnership, and those are families, like you said, that need it the most.
I wonder how many are. Do you have any idea how many are using the app at this point?
I don't have any numbers right now, but I will tell you, Blue Star Families has 150,000 members as part of their membership, and then there are 1.3 million currently serving military service members in the U.S. 50% have children, and 40% of those children are 0 to 5.
Wow, so they really need this.
There's a huge group of people that need this.
You're obviously fulfilling a need, and you identified a problem, and where do you want things to go from here for the company? Do you have vision beyond it being, obviously you have a reading app now and a drawing app.
Yeah.
What else would you want it to do?
So we've actually heard from our customers that they use it for tutoring. So the book that I showed you that was blank, there's a lot of families that actually use it to do some word problems or some math problems. So we already know that our customers want some kind of two-way tutoring. We also know that we can do language learning. We have 6 different languages on our app, and some of them are bilingual, some of them are just one language, and we have both kind of, English and Spanish. The French and the Chinese are bilingual in each book.
Wow.
And so we already know language learning is something we want to get into. We also know that there's a lot of companies that have employees or customers that travel a lot for work. So airlines, hotels, education nonprofits, refugee organizations, and children's hospitals, professional service firms, right? So the consultants and iBankers of the world who are traveling a lot for work. So my goal is global domination, but that's me. And and I want for families one day, instead of saying let's FaceTime tonight, to say let's Caribou tonight.
I love that. Let's talk about just being a woman in the field of entrepreneurship, and also sort of how you cut your teeth in the technology sector after spending so much of your career in education.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible transition. I feel like every role I've had in the education space, I've always felt like a serial social entrepreneur. I'm always, so I'm still technically a millennial.
Depending I can tell by the glasses.
Depending on like when you think
You're
the cutoff is.
You're just like way cooler than me in so many ways.
Thanks, but I see my career as project-based, which I think is what millennials see it as, in the sense that I don't want to stay at a company for 40 years. I want to come in, I want to solve a problem, and then I want to go on to the next problem.
Right.
Caribou has a new challenge every day, so like I see myself at Caribou for a pretty long time. But in most situations, you're coming in, you're working on something, you're solving a really big problem, and then you want to do something else. And so entrepreneurship, like I said, is the thing that allows me to just continuously solve problems, like really big, crazy problems. I get to invent stuff all the time. I get to teach myself all the time.
What is your process? Do you carry around a notebook, and every time you have an idea, you write it down? So, I'm always curious how the entrepreneurial mind works.
Well, my mind is not as organized as it probably should be. I do write things down, but then I write them in like really random places, and then I kind of have to come back to trying to find out where it was. But I think that the entrepreneurial mindset is a constant cycle. It's test, how did that go, double down, reject, test again. So I think like technically I'm probably a qualified scientist at this point with the amount of testing.
Well, that's sort of the
done.
scientific method.
Yeah.
One final piece of advice that you might have to other millennial potential social entrepreneurs that have a social mission they want to tackle, as well as perhaps make some money.
Yeah, you can do both, which is great. I guess my advice would just be like, don't be scared. Just do it. Jump in, feet first, because it's kind of like getting a dog or having a baby. Like, there's never a good time. Like,
Isn't that
there's
true?
like truly like never a good time. And so
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. And I promise you, like, it will be amazing.
Maxeme Tuchman, thank you so much for joining us in the Toyota Solutions studio. Congratulations on all of your success and being awarded the Mother of Invention this year. And have fun.
Thank you. Thanks.